Welcome back, sailors. You join us in Calais. In this week's episode, we get a visit from customs,
6 of them came, all with guns.
get bounced to Boulogne-sur-Mer, and bounced around the marina, before exploring the walled old town and the crypts of Notre Dame.
We are in Calais still, day 3. Weather so far has been great, so's the wine, so's the food. What more can you ask for? Well, what you can ask for is an opportunity to leave Calais, because there's a lot more of France to go and see, and a lot nicer parts too. Unfortunately, our curse has continued with us. We've been head to wind so far the entire journey down the east coast of England, and although there was only a slight amount of wind when we were crossing the channel, it was on our nose still. We're now going to be going towards the southwest and to the west, and unfortunately the wind has changed direction, and it's currently coming from the southwest with gusto, 25 gust and 35. We had to manoeuvre the boat earlier on. We were rafted to someone when we arrived and they wanted to leave, so we had to dismount, as it were, and that was extremely windy. Not a great day to be docking a boat, let me tell you. There might have been a bit of a bump, but when the wind gets to this kind of high, it becomes a contact sport sometimes. And unfortunately the wind's not going to die off until about Thursday, so we've got southwesterlies for the next 3 or 4 days, so I think we're going to be stuck here unless anything changes. So we'll have spent about 6 days in Calais overall, the same amount of time as we spent in Grimsby. I'm hoping as we get into June, the weather's going to start to ease off a little bit. Let's hope so. So yeah, we unrafted, and then someone immediately wanted to raft to us. Had a bit of a disagreement in terms of how to do that, but I prevailed, because we've ended up doing it the RYA way. But yeah, it's extremely windy. Everything's under stress and strain. Not a good day to be a fender, unless you're the kind of fender who lives for days like this. You know, you want it to be hard every day, so you can show what a great fender you are. I've no idea. I don't know what I'm talking about actually. I think I might need a glass of wine. Well, we've been in Calais for 6 days now, weathered off, and it took 5 days for anyone to come and check our boat papers. But when they did come, they came en masse. 6 of them came, all with guns. Not that they were threatening with those guns, but yeah, they went through everything with a fine tooth comb, every bit of paper, asked about the dog and stuff as well, and then went off to check the next boats. So there were a lot of boats here. If they'd arrived a couple of days before at the weekend, there was a lot of people who may have come a cropper at their status of checking in and stuff like that. So fair warning, run that at your own risk.
It's passage day. Good morning. It's not too early, it's about 7:30. Yewy and I are going to go to the baker's and get some bread and croissants and things for the journey, and then we're getting the bridge out of the marina just before 9 o'clock. I think it's 8:56. We're off to Boulogne-sur-Mer. Lines are slipped, fenders are in, bridge is opening. Can you see that under the boom there? We have the green light. Let's go to Boulogne-sur-Mer. And now we're waiting for our next traffic lights to allow us into the main port, and then we'll be following out this way and avoiding some shallows.
been extremely busy, 3 ferries so far. We've been told to move here, move there. A bit difficult when you're trying to put your sails up, so we've been going along haggledy-paggledy with the sail flogging everywhere. Got a reef in the main, got about 20 knots of nose. It's absolutely bang on the nose, of course. I mean, it's supposed to be a bit of northerly in it today, but is there shite? It should be a little bit better because we're going to turn away, we're going to bear away a little bit, we're going to head south a little bit. But yeah, lovely day in the English Channel.
Do you hear that? The engine is off! We're sailing! 5 knots. It's been a little bit up and down. Might get back up towards the 6 mark soon.
We're here, sponsored by Pat Sharp. Yeah, we are. The wind is. We have bared away a little bit. We just passed the cardinal marker, which allowed us to avoid some shallows. So we're in the no-go zone, that's for certain. But we do have an angle to get 5.5 knots, so we'll take that. There's a point down there, Point Gris. Grey nose. Unfortunately, the leeway and the tide is going to take us into it, so we'll have to tack and not hit the land. But I think we can manage that. So we're just passing Grey Nose. It's a bit bumpy around the headlands, it usually is. But yeah, once we get around the corner, I think we're going to be on a bit of a broad reach actually, because we need to go due south. So that'll be nice, and it should flatten out a little bit as well. Yeah, the swell has been it's been a bit testy, quite steep it is, because now we've got real wind against tide now. So we've had a few slams, but nothing to worry about. So anyway, yes, today we're going to Boulogne-sur-Mer. Boulogne-sur-Mer. Sounds French, doesn't it? It's because it is. It's only 22 nautical miles. It kind of cuts the journey to Dieppe down a bit. It would have been 70 odd miles to go to Dieppe. So we'll knock 22 of them off today. We should be there by lunchtime. And yeah, looking forward to getting there for a change of scenery. Well then, we've turned the corner. We're no longer head to wind. We're on some form of reach. We're doing 7 knots. I can see Boulogne-sur-Mer. It's nice to be sailing somewhere, isn't it?
It is, it's peaceful.
I think you're going to have to speak up because you've got your elbow in front of your face and I can hardly hear and I'm standing here. Cut! Put your elbow down. It's nice to be sailing somewhere, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes! Oh,
It's nice and peaceful.
it's lovely.
And it stopped slamming.
It has. Yeah, what a difference a few degrees make. Yeah, we've come off the wind now about a good 50 degrees. So we're like somewhere between
We're not head
a
to
close
wind.
reach and a reach, aren't we?
Yes.
Which is nice. Lovely point of sail.
So what have we found on the map?
Well, just before Cap Gris, Grey Nose that we passed, you noticed a place called Le Farts. And when you look at it on Google Maps, it says busier than usual. So I'm not sure what they've been eating.
And the farts translates as the farts. Very helpful. We are in, it's raining, and it's low tide. Look how steep the gangway is. Don't mind us, we're just going to climb Everest. Up you go. Go on, Yewy. Yewy can just drag me up. Oh, good girl.
This is the steepest one ever. Isn't it?
It's ridiculous. Go on, Yewy.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if you had like a lot of provisions or something?
Yeah, you couldn't bring a trolley down. Well done, Yewy Bear. Well, good morning from Ramsgate. I mean, Boulogne-sur-Mer.
Boulogne-sur-Mer.
We were told it was going to be Ramsgate in here, and when we came in we were all smug. We were like, oh, it's really chill and protected. And now we're rocking all over the shop, and we got a little bit of sleep, but you were up at 4 checking lines.
So it's 3, 4, 6,
oh God.
and now, whatever time is now.
7:30.
It's the reality though, you know, it's 30 odd knots blowing in from the north. It is the only direction that Boulogne suffers from really, so of course we're here on it. And yeah, the swell's raging in, 35 knots to say on a spring tide, and it's wobbly, like there's no doubt about it. But you've got to check your lines, you've got to check your lines. Just been for a shower. As you can probably tell, life gets a lot more simplistic on a boat, but some things become more difficult as well. You know, to go for a shower, you got to go to the shower block and whatnot, which sometimes means that certainly at low tide, you've got to walk up a ramp like that, which probably doesn't look that steep until you get to the bottom of it. Steep as, but I don't care because I'm excited. In fact, I'm going to run up it. And the reason I'm going to do that is because there's something very, very unusual about this marina. It's been good so far, the facilities are good, they answer the radio, always a good thing. Showers and stuff are clean, but there is also a secret in here. So I've been around the world and I can't find my baby, but what I also haven't found before free laundry. So yeah, things do get a bit more complicated on a boat, and usually that means for certainly for laundry you pay a fortune. You know, sometimes 10 quid just to get your laundry washed and dried. So this means we can do all of our laundry that we've accumulated over the last few weeks. Yes! Right, we've got better things to do with our existence than washing machines go around, like doing my hair. So, let's go.
Well, hello. We have had what I like to call a nothing day. We're in Boulogne-sur-Mer. We went to the fish market earlier, bought a nice bream, just walked Yewy around, and then basically came and hid in the boat all day because it's blowing a hoolie and it keeps chucking it down. So yeah, we've just been hiding out, but now we need to cook said fish. So what is on the menu?
Well, what do you do when it's crap outside? You cook your buzz them off. So we filleted our sea bream. We got some tinned poi lentils, added some saucisson, some garlic, some onion.
That looks great.
It tastes great because I've also made a caper and lemon butter as well, and I've put half of it through there. The other half will go on the fish. But as you can, I'm like this. This is mental.
We're not stacking around because we're drunk, although we have just opened a drink.
This is like being on passage. It really is, isn't it?
It is. I feel like if you're very prone to seasickness, if you're someone like my sister, yeah, I think you'd get marina sick. I think you actually would here.
Well, you know, I'll drink to that.
That looks tremendous. Let's go see if it tastes as good as it smells and it looks. Yewy, you can't sit there while we're eating.
Bad habits are being formed on this boat. Oh yeah.
The lentils are amazing.
Right of a tin.
How much did you say the actual lentil part of the dish cost?
70p. Onions, garlic, poi lentils, just from a tin. A bit of sausage meat, like preserved sausages. Yeah, salt and pepper.
Absolutely fantastic. I think Yewy approves.
Wow.
Nice.
Didn't even chew?
The next day, I was in desperate need of off-the-boat time, so I headed to the Old Town, where amidst the cobbled streets and fortified walls lies the Basilique of Notre Dame and its famous 100-metre high dome. The medieval cathedral on this site was destroyed and left to rot in the French Revolution, and it wasn't until 1815 when Father Benoit Agathon Haffringay decided to rebuild the cathedral that workers discovered the hidden network of crypts beneath. The crypts are the longest in France, stretching over 100 metres, with grand chambers, dimly lit corridors and Roman columns. Hundreds of images of saints, Bible scenes and mythical creatures adorn the walls, and Father Benoit added a candle-lit faux hill of Lazarus to one of the Roman tunnels. But to me, the most stunning of the crypts was the Crypt du Dôme, featuring an empty tomb held aloft by 4 stone angels. The crypts today display items from the treasury and recovered cornices from the original cathedral in the 13th to 15th centuries. The still cool air and quietude of the crypts was just the tonic, and I returned to the marina, energised and ready for our next adventure. Join us next time, sailors, when the channel deals us big seas on the way to Dieppe. Like, comment, share and subscribe, and as always, fair winds.